So when I think about the rapist mentality of those Bowling Green jailers, of the Warren County Detention Center jailers, if they had raped somebody, if one of their own raped another inmate, then that inmate filed a complaint, they would not take the complaint serious. They would push it off to the side and nothing would happen. Allegations of police misconduct rarely result in charges. That's just across the board. Even though KRS 510.120, sexual abuse in the second degree, this is something that happened to me at the Louisville jail. Sexual abuse in the second degree, it's the Department of Corrections, and if there is something with sexual contact, you can't do that. Knowingly have sexual contact with the inmates, you can't do that. But unfortunately, molester oppressors, they don't think of you as a person. They think of you an object to be manipulated and controlled. And so if they can get their, get your will trumped by their will, well, that's a turn on for them. They're sadistic psychopaths, and that's all they care about. And so it's illegal. You're not allowed to rape people in jail. You can't rape in jail. But apparently, if you have a badge or so-called official authority or capacity, you're allowed to rape, murder, abuse, assault, use violence at will at any time for any reason. And if you don't have a reason, you could always make up a reason later, and people will blindly defend you as if you are not only a human, but a God who can make no mistakes. So if you're a God who can make no mistakes, then, you deserve that badge, right? I mean, my God, if you're... just a couple more informational pieces about Bowling Green. They had murdered Gregory H. Harrison. So they killed a man who had no gun. He was unarmed. And of course, they said he made a threatening gesture and something else. It was a guy who'd only been on the force for 2 years. Anytime there's a killing, they always like, oh yeah, and by the way, they've been on the force forever. So what? If you've been on the force for 30 years... and it's almost like you need to kill somebody, right? I mean, my God, if you haven't killed anybody, you've been a police officer for 30 years and you haven't killed anybody, I would trust them less. And they probably think that they have all these friends in society and everybody will rush to their defense, and they're probably right. But it doesn't mean that they're allowed to murder people. So Daryl Smith, he's a Glasgow, right? Glasgow, Bowling Green, they're right next door to each other. Glasgow police officer, and he goes to this outdoors Baron Outdoors gun store, and he's handed a loaded .380 caliber 6-hour copperhead. So he's loaded a loaded handgun, and while he's playing with it and looking at it, the safety was off. It was loaded, which I think is insane. Why would there be a loaded gun, at a gun shop? Usually, I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, you had to, you had to get the bullets and then get the guns, right? But in this gun store, the guns are already loaded. And I guess the guy was playing around with the gun. I would think, I mean, could you see inside of it? And why would you aim, why would you aim the gun towards your hand even if there is no bullets in it? Oh, I'm going to practice shooting this while aiming it right at my hand. That's actually bad for the gun. You shouldn't be pulling the trigger and hitting the hammer when there's no bullets there. It's not good for it. Anyways, Daryl Smith shoots off his hand. He's 58 years old. He's fired, right? Because, I mean, you shot off your hand. He had a lot of medical bills, and he wants to sue somebody Baron Outdoors for because they should have checked it and they should have done something, but they didn't do right. And, it just goes to show you the incompetence. When they shoot themselves in the finger, they want to blame somebody else because clearly it's someone else's fault when it was only his fault, So that was Glasgow. So people say, well, that's not Bowling Green. Well, with the murder of 46-year-old Gregory Harrison of Brownsville was a murder. That was a killing. And that was a killing that was done by Keith Casada Jr., a 2-year member of the force. Again, he'd been on there for 2 years, right? Oh, I've been here for 2 years. So you're an expert, or you're a trigger-happy amateur cop just looking to shoot anybody that, questions your authority. How dare you, drunk man, sit there and yell the things that you're yelling at me? I will stand up for myself. A man was shot and killed by a Bowling Green police officer early Sunday during an incident that began when the man allegedly called authorities to say he was going to kill his brother. The officer involved shooting occurred about 2 a.m. in the 1100 block of Clay Street. 1100 block Clay Street. There should be a memorial there. Because he didn't have a gun. And they said none of this makes any sense. He was going to kill his brother. So you got a drunk man being like, I'm gonna shoot that bastard. You watch, I'm gonna shoot him. And then he's screaming at them to shoot him. So clearly he's unstable, right? He's got some mental issues. He's drunk. And they said, so basically I see that they're far away. He's walking towards them. I get nervous. What are they going to do, right? Just how the cops slowly walk towards you whenever there's protesters. Okay, advance. Slowly walk towards you. Here I come. And so he's on the railroad tracks. He's real far away. He takes a couple steps towards them. Then now they're making up stuff. They said, well, he was covering his hands. You know, we didn't know what he had under his shirt. We didn't know what he had in his hands. You know, he made no gesture to kill them. He made no motion. He didn't pull out a weapon and go to shoot them. He didn't even threaten them. He didn't even threaten them. He's threatening his brother, or supposedly. We don't even know who this guy is. I don't think he's a local. I think he was somebody, you know, and I'm willing to, I don't know if he was black or not, but I'm willing to guess he was. But it doesn't matter if he was or not. A murder is a murder. And, you know, so Gregory H. Harrison is in this town. He's drunk. He's having some weird crisis that's going on. And the Kentucky State Police are there. Is that what I'm reading? The state police had one of their own, Keith Casada Jr., pop one of him in his chest. And that downed him. And that was it. You know, one good heart shot, one good head shot. That's all you need. One good shot to kill a man. I saw Django. It went right through his head. Right? All over the cotton. One shot through the head. Desmond Rudolph, they shot him 6 times in the head. Desmond Rudolph, they shot him 6 times in the head. You need 6 headshots for an unarmed man? 6 headshots. You don't think you're ever doing it? So he didn't go, you know, wildly crazy with his murderous rage or his murderous revenge. But he did murder a man that didn't need to die. They employed violence, you know, right from the get-go. They said they tried to tase him. I don't know why you weren't able to tase him. I don't even know if it said that. I don't even know. He's standing on the railroad track, so you're not around him. You know, he's not around them. And they ignored his commands. He's drunk. I mean, hey, you need to shut your mouth. I will not shut my mouth. Shoot him. Just kill him. Nah, he ignored my commands. That's what they did with Samantha Ramsey. She ignored his commands, so she had to die. It's all about order. It's obedience, submission to authority. It's a police state, Nazi Germany, Homeland Security, the military industry, LMPD, KSP, Bowling Green. So Mr. Harrison refused to answer any of their questions, only stating they were refusing to help him. So this is we're getting something more here. This happened in August 2012, not 3 years ago. Less than 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So this is fascinating. So they're saying, according to the Bowling Green Police Department dispatch, Mr. Harrison refused to answer any of their questions, only stating they refused. You're not helping me. You're not helping me. Mr. Harrison advised he was in a parking lot. Hey, I'm in a parking lot with a gun. He ran to nearby railroad tracks, demanded for officers to shoot him as he was hiding his hands. Then they killed him dead. They shot him. They said they felt weird about it, didn't know what happened, and then he was taken to Louisville for an autopsy. He was placed on administrative leave, paid, so he had a paid vacation, right? You kill a man, and you're a police officer, you get a paid vacation. And it says nothing about whether he has a gun or not. So, I'm going to assume if they had a gun, they would have mentioned it, right? So, they shot an unarmed man. They killed an unarmed man who was just drunk. Okay. Hey, we got a drunk man acting crazy. Oh, maybe because he drank a lot of alcohol, and alcohol does something to the brain that doesn't make you act normal. And 2 in the morning, he's probably just sad, alone, drinking, and then thinking about some shit that's happened in his life. Give him a damn hug. What is wrong with you all? Shoot him in the leg too. You had to shoot to kill. You couldn't have shoot him in the leg. It's all it takes. Basically, if you're suicidal, just give the cops a call. Say, hey, I got a gun. I'm standing in the middle of nowhere. Pretend you got something in your pocket. And then that's it. That's all she wrote. It's fascinating, actually, how a life of a police officer is just that much more valuable than the life of a Kentucky citizen. If you're just a Kentucky citizen, you're nobody. You're nothing. You get drunk one day, you say some crazy stuff, you're dead. You're dead. No funeral, no flowers, nothing. And while I'm not that type of a person, like, hey, how come they didn't? But when you look at how they treated this guy, okay, so they had a killing. This happened in 2012. Now, there was a police officer. This goes to show how incompetent they are. Not only do they shoot their own fingers off, not only do they kill unarmed man who's drunk and acting stupid, they shoot to kill. Didn't even shoot to injure, right? No leg shot, no arm shot. Just a heart shot. Same thing with Samantha Ramsey, heart shot her in the heart. But David Whitson, he's shot. This is a police officer who was shot in 2006 in Bowling Green. It's a Bowling Green Police Department officer. In fact, he's master police officer. The master, right? The #1 massa in town. And they go to some sort of thing, and they say that during the call, they went to 1036 Vine Street, right? They print the address here. During the call, shots were fired, fatally injuring Whitson and then Rogelio Gonzalez Pacheco, 26. So they go check out a call. This Rogelio, which he's dead too, right? He's dead too. What, he wanted to fight him? He wanted to go fight him? They said that he attacked him. So this Mr. Gonzalez Pacheco, they say that he tried to attack him, and then when they tried to attack him, his own police officers, his own buddies shot him. They shot them both. So he's there with 3 police officers. One guy attacks master police officer with the knife, and then his 2 buddies shoots this guy, master police officer David Whitson, and then they shoot Rogelio Gonzalez Pacheco. They kill them both. So what kind of police officers are these? These are incompetent, untrained, amateurish. These are crappy police officers. You die maybe in a war. If we got a wartime situation, there might be friendly fire because there's so much chaos. There's so many people in battle. Maybe if you're a sharpshooter. Maybe if you're Chris Kyle and it's really long distance. Maybe, you can't really tell. If you're in, but if you're in New Orleans, if you're in Kentucky, if you're in Bowling Green, Kentucky, it's not a war situation for a cop to kill another cop. It just shows the level of incompetence, right? So one guy attacks another guy and you couldn't wrestle him off. You just shot first, asked questions later, and now the guy's dead. And I bet they did have, they talked about the post-traumatic stress that the other officers, who they do not name. They don't even mention the murderers. Who killed David Whitson? We don't know. Who killed this police officer? Master police officer. We don't know. They didn't print the names. And so after he was shot, they have a big parade, big celebration, shut the entire city down. Because, he's the most important human being ever. David Whitson was the most important Bowling Green citizen, most important citizen to ever come out of Warren County in the history of Warren County history. No more important person than David Whitson. When he got shot and murdered by a police officer, they had funeral arrangements for him. They recognized that a life is valuable. But when they murdered Greg Harrison, when Keith Casada Jr. murdered Greg Harrison, they threw Greg Harrison's body in the ditch. He got an autopsy and then buried, and then nobody talked about him again. So which one's more crazy? Getting shot by your friends, or getting drunk one night and saying something crazy? Who shot David Whitson? There's a case. They know who shot him, right? This is public information, but they didn't print the murderers' names. So Bowling Green definitely has blood on its hands. Bowling Green police officers, Kentucky State police officers, it's a corrupt jail. It's a molester, oppressor, rapist mentality. And they're bad people. I mean, there's bad people everywhere we go, but I'm not gonna, say that this is bullshit. This is bullshit. So just a good comparison between the two. When you have Gregory Harrison, 46-year-old Gregory Harrison of Brownsville, drunk, shot, dead. He's 46 years old. And then he was 34 years old. So they're only one year difference. No, 46, my bad. 10-year difference. 12-year difference. Okay, so whatever. If anything, maybe he's more respectable. He's got older age, more wisdom. So I don't hate the idea that all life is valuable, but to say a police officer's life is more valuable than everyone else, I think is ridiculous and bullshit. And the murderers, those who killed David Whitson, their names should have been released to the public because they should be Barney Fife. They should not carry a gun. They should have one bullet in their pocket and that's it. They kill their own police officers, so even just being on the force, I don't think so. You're too incompetent. You kill police officers. And then what about the guy? What about the guy? What was the situation even about? They went to a road and they killed 2 people, actually. 2 people died. But it looks like it was a Hispanic man. So clearly, who gives a shit, right? This is white supremacist-ville. Clearly, he must have been doing something wrong. Or maybe not. Was it unprovoked attack? We only got 2 people who saw the thing and witnessed it and told us what happened. So, I wonder if perhaps they were roughing him up and beating him up and they jumped him and then they made a mistake. Maybe they were robbing him. But who cares? He gets a big ass funeral. They were robbing him. You've seen Training Day. There are corrupt cops out there, so some corrupt cop is sitting there doing some corrupt bullshit, and then he gets his big-ass funeral like he was Jesus Christ on the mount, And then this other guy's shot down like a dog and nobody gives a crap. All life is valuable or none of it is. And I vote all life is valuable. That's why Gregory Harrison and that Pacello man should be remembered in the same breath. Especially they were unarmed. A knife. You brought a knife to a gunfight. That's their version, So let's stop the police brutality, stop the corruption, vote Young Masters, May 19th, 2015.